The bracket is set. We now know who the 8 teams remaining are in the Emirates NBA Cup, and we will get to see some very spicy matchups, including, do you see that, Mr. Windhorst? Trae Young heading back to the Garden, where there
crowd likes to shout at him.
Always fireworks, and it maybe gets a little chilly. And a playoff rematch between the Thunder and the Mavs. That's the bracket, but here's who Vegas thinks will end up in Sin City holding the trophy when it's all said and done. The forecast says, oh, look, maybe some orange and blue skies ahead. The Knicks hold the shortest odds to claim the cup. We are here with you to make sense of it all alongside Brian Windhorst and the Chancellor of Standing on Business. It's Kendrick Perkins. I'm Malika Andrews. It was a busy final night of the NBA Cup action. So let's start our show in Phoenix. That's where the Spurs, they had a chance to advance with a win against the Suns. Let's show you how this one went down.
Malika, just so you remember.
A group of death, and those are some fits. Devin Booker, Brian Windhorst, he became just the second player in Suns franchise history to reach 15,000 points.
Yeah, and he gave a love letter to the Valley right after the game.
He did. Let's go ahead to the second quarter here, though. Suns up 8. Kevin Durant crossing over Wemby here.
How about that footwork?
Yeah.
Man.
Suns up by 10. And then now Suns up 7. Durant drives.
About that footwork.
Yeah, hits the deck there, rolls his ankle. If you're squeamish, don't watch this replay. Let's one more look. Yeah, he would leave the game and did not return after going down with that left ankle injury. More on that in just a minute here. To the third quarter now, the Spurs down 7. Chris Paul throwing it up for Victor Wembanyama, but there's nothing you can do about that.
That's just high-low action to the highest of highs in the league.
Yeah, that's a Eiffel Tower. Wembanyama, 15 points, 13 rebounds, 7 assists on the night. Booker drives, puts up the floater plus the foul. He had a game-high 29 points. The Suns win 104-93, so the Spurs not advancing. Unfortunately, though, the story of the entire league is tracking out of this game is Kevin Durant's injury. Shams Charania is here with more. Shams, what have the Suns learned about the severity of this injury here for KD?
Malika, I'm told that Kevin Durant has been diagnosed with a left ankle sprain. He will be out about 1 to 2 weeks.
Okay.
It's going to be dependent on the rehab, the rest, the treatment that Durant is going to be on over the next period of days and week. They're going to reevaluate him in 1 week. He's going to miss some time after that as well, but he had just returned from a calf injury early last week. This is a Suns team that's 11-2 with Durant in the lineup, just 1-6 without him. The only good news here for sure for the Suns is that Bradley Beal is healthy and ready to take this team with Devin Booker for a period of time here without Kevin Durant.
Right, because for that 1-6 status that you just mentioned without KD, the Suns were also without Bradley Beal during that stretch. Shams, thank you so very much. We will continue to check in with you as this story evolves. I want to bring back Kendrick Perkins here. Perk, how much does KD's status change expectations, do you think, for the Suns in this short term?
I mean, Malika, look, with KD in the lineup, they look like, championship contenders. With KD out of the lineup, they look like a lottery team. And I'm glad that Shams brought up Bradley Beal, right? He was the piece when they traded for him from Washington that's supposed to move the needle. Now, he's not having a horrible year. He's averaging about 17 points, shooting 49% from the field. But this is the time for Bradley Beal to be great and justify why they made the move for him. Remember how we was talking about, they're top heavy. They have a big three, but they can't fill in. Now they didn't fill in the spots. You still have a guy in Devin Booker who's a top 20 player in the league. It's time for Bradley Beal to stand on business.
Yeah, if you look at this injury, it was actually very similar looking. It was almost in the exact same spot on the floor there at the Footprint Center where KD turned his ankle in warm-ups. Remember that 2 years ago?
Yeah.
He missed 6 games with the same ankle on that. So if he comes back before then, I think it would be a pleasant surprise, but I think that's probably about the range they're looking for.
So even without Kevin Durant, the Suns, they were able to get the win. And at the time, they still had a chance to get into the knockout round, but the thing is they needed a little bit of help from the Memphis Grizzlies. The Grizzlies, they were still duking it out with the Mavericks, so here's how that one went down. Remember, both of these teams came into this game red hot. Ja Morant and the Grizzlies, Luka Doncic and the Mavericks. Point differential is confusing, but just know that Dallas's was plus 41 coming into this one. Ja Morant here.
Wasn't exactly the picture-perfect step back, but it got it done.
You know what? If it goes in, it's pretty picture perfect. Little spin cycle there over Luka Doncic. Gets that one to go. And then let's go ahead here to the fourth quarter.
This was prime cup action.
Yep. Explain.
Well, they came into this fourth quarter needing to win by 4 points to advance, and they were behind by 13. So they had to win the fourth quarter by 17 points. Not just win the game, they had to win the quarter by 17, Malika.
Well, keep in mind, Dallas was 0-3 when trailing by 15 points this season. So this was a little bit of an uphill battle for them.
And by the way, the players knew it. I know that the fans are still getting used to this concept of how the point differential matters. This is why in soccer you see a game it's 2 or 3-0 and them fighting. As they pressed down the stretch here, the Mavericks had their foot on the gas to get to that point number.
Well, the Grizzlies, though, they were making it difficult here. Now Dallas within one. Kyrie Irving gives it up to Spencer Dinwiddie. This was the three that ignited
that's
this Mavericks
good, but they don't have enough points. They need the win and by more than 4.
And
now
that
they're at 4.
Is what they knew. Kyrie Irving dancing, dishing. One more pass to Spencer Dinwiddie. He just did it.
Watch the score. It's all good. They're up 5, but they've got to win by at least 5. Now it's 3.
Now it's 3.
We got a problem, Malika.
And Luka Doncic understands that.
5.
Luka understands. He's looking. Kicks it back out. There's what you were looking for.
So when PJ Washington, watch how he reacts to this. Yeah, they're going to win the game, but they also need the points to get to the next round. He knows that.
Oh, and that is why he is so hyped up there. Brian, I'm going to stick with you before going back to Perk here. Outside of the cup play,